share with you. We had an international audience today, all the way from the Americas to Canada to Lagos, Nigeria, who here knows that success is based on principles that are timeless and they can go all around the world. And today I have the honor of sharing with you a very special message on the one key difference maker that separates amateurs from champions. So if that sounds interesting to you, then lock into this call because I have a very important message. If we haven't met yet, my name is James Zhang. It's an honor to be here with you, Chairperson Level 2. I've been with these body balancing drops since it came out for 13 years. And you know what all that means is I've had many years to make a lot of mistakes, and I've seen up front, close, and personal through personal experiences and also the thousands of people we've coached to get to the top 1% in this company on what makes successful people successful and what makes the rest not. So I wonder, what do you think that difference maker would be on what separates champions from the rest? And today I want to share with you that I'd submit to you, I believe that it's this statement that champions don't run to the finish line, they run through the finish line. You see, I don't know about you, but in high school, I was I tried to do some sports. I wouldn't say I was good at them or anything. Let me know, what kind of sports did you play growing up? But I did do track and field. And one thing I remember drilling was doing sprints. I'm not a long distance person, not designed for that, but I was doing sprints. And I remember I had this habit is you would run, let's say it's the 100-meter dash, you would run, you'd sprint your guts out, and as you would see the finish line, it's like the subconscious thing happens where you start letting your foot off the gas and you start going a little bit slower and you're like, I'm done. And I remember my coach would come up to us and he would chastise us. He'd be like, what are you doing? You have to imagine, if it's a 100-meter dash, you have to imagine that the finish line is 10 meters. It's 20 meters further down the line. Because the biggest mistake that athletes make is they run to the finish line, not run through the finish line. Maybe you've watched the Olympics. Maybe you've seen sports. You've all seen these experiences where it seems like someone's about to win, but they let up in the last seconds, in the last minutes, and then the competitor comes out from behind and catches up. Now, we know that in the sports world, but I wonder, are we making the same mistake like that in our business as well? And I'll share with you that for many, many years of my life, this was one of my biggest challenges. Let me be honest with you. I'm inherently lazy. I'm just being straight up. I want to do the least amount of work for the max amount of effort. Is anyone else like me? Like, come on, I'm just a real human being. And what that means is if I didn't need to exert effort, I'd rather not. But I found myself in a place, and this is when I was rising in leadership, I noticed that I had a pattern of failure. And our leadership team, we would run these fun competitions. So it'd be us versus another team, our team versus another team. And this is when I was not known or anything. I was struggling to break through. My income was up and down, but I was learning my leadership chaps. And I remember in this competition, I lost the first challenge, and then we would do another one, and then I lost the second one, and then we do another one, and I lost the third one. And in my mind, I could always justify losing. I don't know about you. Are you good at justifying failure? I'm really good at it. Well, it was just we missed this one call, and if this prospect went through, then everything would have been different. Well, there's always next time, but you know what? Circumstances didn't line up. Champion, I want to really put this up front. If you're seeing patterns in your results and they're not what you want to see, then it might be that it's not the business that's a problem. It might be it's our philosophy that's a problem. So I remember what happened after 5 times on losing these team challenges. My mentor pulled me to the side, and I was in this like leadership group, and he was like, James, like, bro, there's something up here. Like, um, you seem to have a pattern of losing, and this isn't looking good. Like, there's grace and everything, but you have to like win at some point. And I'm like, oh, I got this. I got this. And we did another challenge, and I said, if I fail this next challenge, I'm going to remove myself from this leadership team. I'm like, I got this, right? And guess what? I failed again, and I removed myself from the leadership team. And that failure taught me such a big lesson. And it was the same concept of that I was running only to the finish line, not run through. I would always let up at the very last moment. I would always have an excuse at the very last moment. Champions, have you ever had that happen to you? We run week by week with our promotions. If you're this close to a promotion, do you let up at the end because you think it's impossible? Right now, as we're doing this, it's Cyber Monday. So many people have let up. They think, you know what? I can't, I already got the promotion out. I already talked to enough people. People said they're going to buy or not buy. And, that's just all there is. This is an opportunity that you can run through the finish line. We're also at the end of a year, 2024. Are we letting the foot off the gas and we're like, you know what? 2025 is around the corner. Christmas tree is up. My mind's already letting the foot off the gas. Champions, I want to challenge all of our standards today because this is the difference maker of champions and amateurs, what we do. Here's 3 points. I hope you jot these down. I had to learn this the hard way and it changed my life. It changed my life. It's a difference maker of champions and amateurs. Number 1, the greatest growth opportunities are always in the last moment. It's always in the last moment. Let's use a gym analogy. Have you ever done gym? And let's say you're doing a bench press. Have you noticed there's some people that go to the gym over and over and over again, and yet they still look the same? And then you see the others that seem to they go for the same amount of time, even less amount of time, but they get greater gains. Why? Because anyone that lifts weights tells you, and they know this truth. Let's say you're doing a set of 10 reps on the bench press. The first 9 reps don't really matter. It's the last one that really matters. It's the last one that breaks down and tears down the muscle fiber. It's the last one where you grow. In our business and in our life, so many times we are doing 95% of the work, but we miss the last 5% growth opportunity. I want to challenge you today. Don't miss the last growth opportunity. The last day of a promotion like Cyber Monday. This is where I get really excited now. Because this is where the average person lets off the gas, and this is where the champion comes through. They make a couple more phone calls. They follow up a couple more times. They think about that person they were scared to reach out to. This is when they think they ran out of their list, and then they figure out another way of marketing and promoting, and they get one more opportunity out there. You see, these are when I've noticed that the miracle moments come. It's when you think you've exhausted all of what you had. Your plan A has failed. Your B has failed. Your C has failed. You're down to your double Z plans. You're like, I don't have any more plans. And this is when you dig in and you go for that one more opportunity. And you say, you know what? There's one more stone that I've not turned. I've always noticed. Have you noticed this in your life? Have you noticed this in your business? It's that last moment when you're running through the finish line that there's the greatest growth opportunities. So have that in your mindset. So now I've retuned my mind. When the deadline comes, I get super excited. I have to retune my mind because my mind says, oh, it's impossible. I don't know. I have a goal. I don't think it's possible. It's too much time has passed. No. Here's the growth time. Here's the champion time. What are we going to do today that's going to make the difference maker? How's your Cyber Monday going to be different? What's that other key idea that you can make? What's that key phone call, the key follow-up that you can make? I know for me today, I have a list of things that I need to do. I have a couple last follow-ups that I need to do. Hey, Cyber Monday's ending. I know you said you were interested in buying that product and joining the business. Are you ready now? I have a lot of things that are coming in. So do you believe that the greatest opportunities are in the last moments? Are you going to let off the foot off the gas? You're going to run through the finish line on this one. Greatest time to change is right now. Don't wait till the next one. Do it today. Tomorrow's too late, is what Jim Rohn says. Today is the day that you can be a champion. All right. So, number one, the greatest growth opportunities are in the last moments. Number two, number two, you see, it's not even about the result, by the way. Success is about becoming the person that God designed you to be, right? Jim Rohn says success is attracted by the person you become. So the becoming process is important. The goal of running through the finish line, yes, we want to win, but let's be real too. You're going to have 10 goals, you're going to fail 9 of them. That's just the reality of life, right? In a race, there's only going to be one winner for that race. But we're running the race of our lives, not just the race of one promotion, not just the race of one week. We're running for the marathon of life. So here's the other huge key. Why do we want to run through the finish line? Because it's not about winning, it's about how you win. So, how you win. Champions develop a character, an attitude, a mindset that keeps them winning. So they know that even if they are not winning that, you see, I think about that track analogy once again, or sports analogy once again. You know who I love, who I have great respect for? It's not just the person that won, of course, but you know who I love? I love watching the people that come in second and third and ninth and 10th. Are they running through the finish line too? Are they winning even though they didn't win that actual battle? I love the person that hustles all the way till the end. You see, I have this image, maybe you've seen it before. There's an example of someone that's running a race in the Olympics and they trip and fall. And they are down and out. They just literally cannot win because they are so behind. But this person gets up and keeps on hustling. This person gets up and keeps on running. This person becomes so inspiring. The whole stadium actually, instead of rallying for the person that actually wins that race, they're rallying around this person that's coming in last. Why? Because it's not just about winning, it's about how you win. So, are you keeping that in mind as you're closing out Cyber Monday, as you're closing out to the finish line, as you're closing out the year? Are you running through the finish line? Are you running like a champion? Are you running as if no one else was around? And are you going to run with your head and your chest held high? Are you going to do everything you can do to say you put everything on the table? Are you going to expand your reach just one more time? Are you going to make that one extra phone call that may or may not make an actual difference right now? Because it's not about winning, it's about how you win. You are retuning your character, you're retuning your attitude, because that's what champions do. They are training for the bigger race all the time. They are getting ready for the ultimate victory. They know not every battle you're going to win, but you can win the battle yourself because of the way that you win. So, how are you acting today? I want to ask this question. If you knew that you failed, let's say you had a goal. I wanted to go director. I wanted to go manager. I want to go officer, whatever your goal is in your partner co business. And let's say you declared it and then you missed. You knew you missed it. Are you still going to run as if and finish as if you're a winner? That you're the champion that you are? Or are you only circumstantial? Are you only running just because you could get the trophy? You see, I would submit to you the greatest trophy is actually given to you in the midst of failing an actual goal. Because that's when you can see your true baseline character and mentality of how you are. That's where champions are born. That's where champions are made in the face of failure. You see, failure is not just missing the goal. Failure is not being everything that you were designed to be. So, how are you going to act today? Cyber Monday. Are you going to end the day Being proud about yourself, saying, I did everything that I could. I expanded, I grew, and everything. All right. And here's the last point about running through the finish line. Here's the really big secret on why champions get really excited at the finish line. Because win or not win the challenge, what happens is the way you run through the finish actually sets in motion for a compounding of a positive momentum 90 days from now. You see, here's the reality in life. There is a seed time and a harvest time. The harvest that you're seeing today, or if you see in other partners' lives, you might look around and be like, man, how are they hitting all these great promotions? How are they doing these all amazing things? It's actually not because of anything they did this last week. It is a byproduct of 90 days ago. How they ran when no one else was looking, they are now reaping the harvest of. So think to yourself, 90 days ago, what was your attitude like? What was your mentality like? What was your work ethic like? What were you doing? How many new prospects were you reaching out every single day? How many follow-ups are you doing every single day? More than likely, if you're experiencing a great harvest right now, you can look back like, I remember what I did 90 days ago. That was nuts. That was good. I see it now. If you look right now and you look at your results, you're like, they're okay. Look 90 days ago, what were you doing? Okay, you're just seeing the harvest. So if that's the truth, well, and you want your next 90 days to be different. Who here wants your next 90 days to be different in your business and life? I do. Then understand right now how you are finishing. You have an opportunity to change who you are and what results you're going to see 90 days from now. December. So how about in February? What's it going to look like? Well, how are you finishing? The seeds that you plant right now, you're going to start seeing a fruit 90 days. So that's knowing that I get really excited because I'm like, all right, today I'm not just ending and running through the finish line of Cyber Monday. I'm actually running to an amazing springtime. I'm actually right now planting an amazing harvest. So how big of a harvest do I want in February, March? I want a massive one. So I look at every single prospect call I'm doing right now and I'm like, all right, here we go. Something amazing is about to come. So the end of one challenge is actually the beginning of another one. And that's one of the biggest secrets I've seen that champions have. They understand that win or lose this battle, they're actually winning the next one. They're always one step ahead. So, champion, did you get these points? Did you understand that the greatest growth opportunities are in the last moments? Did you understand that it's not just about winning, but it's about how you win? And do you understand that what you do right now will compound 90 days from now? Let me end this with a story. So I've begun talking about my failures as a leader. And I had to kick myself out of this leadership council that I really wanted to be in. And the reason why I failed is because I always let my foot off the gas when the moments mattered the most. I had a deep conviction. Maybe some of us are convicted today. Maybe you're like, that's me, James. I always let up at the very last moment. I always let up when it gets a little bit too hot. I always let up when it gets a little bit too challenging. But not today. I'm going to do something different. So I made a recommitment because my goals were too big. Are your goals too big that you cannot fail? Now I was aware. I went back up to my mentor and said, let me do one more challenge. Let me do one more challenge. If I win this challenge, can I get back into this leadership council? And this was like a David and Goliath. I was probably like a director. I was up against a senior officer. So imagine someone making like 1,000 a month versus a documented 7-figure earner. This was like a David versus Goliath situation. But I said, you know what? I got champion blood in me this time. I know where I missed. I'm not going to miss that. So we went at it. It was a 4-week challenge. So week by week, we tally up the points and then we'd see who won one week, who won the other one. And I made it a commitment every single week. I'd run through the finish line. Every single week, I'd do the absolute best that I could. Every single week, we're going to do this. Week number one, we took the week. Week number two, they took the week. Week number three, they took the week. Coming down to the final week, I'm like, oh my gosh, here's that moment again, those last moments. Here's where I usually let up. And you know what we decided to do? We decided to go all in and run through the finish line. And you know what happened? It was the most amazing miracle. Now, I did not wish this upon them. But you know what happened? Circumstances somehow organized themselves that we had an opportunity. This team leader was running a team in Canada. It was the winter months. If you're in Canada, you know it well. And unfortunately, Canada, where they were at, faced a major winter storm that week that knocked out power, that basically knocked them out of the race and allowed us an opportunity to just inch ahead just by a little bit. And at the very end, it came down to tallying up every single point that was done during this entire team challenge. We were down by quite a bit. And do you know what was crazy? When we did the tally, our team won by literally 1 point. And that allowed me an opportunity to step back into the leadership council. And then we eventually became the top performers. And now we are leading our own councils as well too. That opportunity changed my whole life for forever. You know, when I look back, I don't look back towards the win. I don't look back. I don't remember how much we got paid. What I do remember is the champion blood that came out. What I do remember that's forever encapsulated is I am someone now that runs through the finish line, not just run to the finish line. And I know that that one decision, that was over 10 years ago, still to this day runs through my veins. And I know it's the big difference maker on why we have been able to do some incredible things in our partner co business. And why still to this day, I get so excited about the last day of a challenge. I get so excited about the last moments because I know what it did for me before. To champion, I want you to borrow my conviction belief today. Are you going to run through the finish line and not just run to it? Are you going to do things different today? Are you going to finally be that underdog that comes out on top because you decided to go all the way? And I will promise you, it's a principle that if you decide to go all in and run all the way through, leave nothing on the table, you're going to look back and see miracles happen. You're going to look back and be so proud about yourself. You're going to look back and you're going to say, wow, that was the day that changed my life and changed my business. All right, champion. Well, other than that, remember every single day we have a simple 1, 2, 3 system to build your business. Number one, attend these calls and grow it. Remember, all replays are on bocpodcast.com. Number two, make your 2 posts a day, your personal posts. I already made my personal post today, and I'm going to make a drops post in the afternoon with engagement sandwich. Be sure to have new conversations. And number three, aim to enroll at least 3 people a week, 2 customers and 1 partner. Do this week in and week out. We've seen a roadmap where you can make $1,000 in your first month. And we've seen people make 6 figures within 3-6 months. You can do it as well too. But do it with this champion mindset. All right. Other than that, let's close out Cyber Monday strong. Let's close out 2024 strong. Let's close out as a champion today. Will you take that challenge? Let someone know if you did. Other than that, it's an absolute honor to be here with